Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I want to share with you one of my favorite stories in the Bible, or at least a portion of it. The story comes from the Gospel of John. It's called The Raising of Lazarus. But I just want to focus on one small little detail that I think is incredibly important during these very awkward and odd times. Lazarus is the brother of Mary and Martha. Lazarus is a friend of Jesus, and he dies. Mary and Martha had sent word to Jesus. They expected him to come and to heal Lazarus. He did not arrive on time. Their brother dies, and by the time Jesus shows up, not only is Lazarus been dead for a couple of days, but the funeral's already passed. He's already been buried. One of the interesting things that happens throughout this incredible story is that when Jesus approaches Mary, she comes out, she stands to meet him, but she immediately falls at his feet. And she says, "Lord, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died." And then she simply begins to weep. The grief is so much she can't even stand. She's just collapsed on the ground. Why this is important is because I want you to notice what the reaction of Jesus is. Jesus does not hand her a tissue. He does not tap her on the back and say, there, it's going to be just fine, Mary. He doesn't say, Mary, you got to hold it together now. You got to be a little bit tougher, show more resilience. Instead, Jesus falls to the ground and weeps with her. Jesus wept is the shortest Bible verse in all of Scripture. And as a person who has led confirmation now for nearly 20 years, I've had a number of young people memorize that verse. It's always boys, of course, and when you ask them what their favorite verse of the Bible is, it's always Jesus wept, and then they snicker because they think they're getting away with something. Well, actually, if you're going to memorize one verse of the Bible, that's a pretty good one, because here's what it tells us about the God we serve, is that when your life feels like it's falling apart, when you are weeping or when you feel like you're wigging out, God doesn't say, hey, get your act together. God doesn't say toughen up. Instead, we have a God who enters into our sorrow, who stoops down with us and weeps with us and for us. Of course, that's not the end of the story. When Mary has no more tears left to cry, Jesus takes her by the hand. He leads her to the cemetery, and there she sees new birth, new life in a way that she could not have anticipated. That's the ending of the story. That's what God eventually does. But for today, for those of you who are overwhelmed with sadness, find yourself wigging out a little bit, don't beat yourself up. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you have to get it all together. Just know this. In this moment, Jesus is with you and for you, surrounding you with his grace and with your mercy. He'll eventually lead you to a better place. But for today, in this moment, just know that he's with you. And that's enough. Have a great day. Bye-bye.